Okay, so welcome to another episode of How to Build a Team podcast. And we are streaming live as well on Facebook. We have a special guest. It's something that I also know. I think this is the first skill that I learned when I was starting my freelancing career. So I am very happy. We are very happy to have him on the show. David, why don't you introduce our very special guest today?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Our guest today is a guy that Pam and I both met sort of mid last year. I think it was, September, Chris?
When we were
at the
yeah.
conference?
That's correct. I think it was around there.
Uh-huh.
And it was a conference called Working Remote 2019, and it was a 2-day event that was held in Manila. And Pam and I were very blessed to have been part of that conference as speakers and panelists, and got a chance to meet Chris and chat with him a little bit at that event. And we asked him to send us his bio to do this. And he sent us a one-liner. He said, most entrepreneurs struggle to get customers. So Chris developed a system to get your message in front of your ideal customers to predictably grow your business. So welcome, Chris Reed from Ardor SEO. Please continue on and introduce yourself.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I'm originally a software engineer from Brisbane, Australia. Worked in finance with a soul-destroying world of finance until the 2008 global financial crisis came and took my job away. And I pivoted and thought, what the hell am I going to do with my life? And I ended up building an online game just out of a bit of fun. And then I was like, well, how the hell do you get people to a game to actually play it? And that's when I started learning about SEO and went, this is amazing. And, then I moved past like the technical parts of things and really became passionate about helping business owners grow their business. Generally business owners they got into business because they really like doing what they do, like building their products and providing their services and, trying to make the world a better place. And so empowering them by helping them get customers, because that's the hardest thing for most businesses, that's what they struggle at doing, getting their message in front of their ideal customer.
Right.
And so that's what we do is, work out who's looking for you and how to get your message in front of where they're looking. And then most importantly, get them to take action. Because, like search engine rankings, they're fantastic, but they don't pay the bills. It's new customers that do. So that's always our focus.
True. So since you mentioned, since you mentioned that you have to be in front of your ideal customers, why is it that important that you should be in front of your customers, ideal customers, to be exact?
Well, I mean, if you're not in front of the ideal people, then they're probably not going to become customers. If they're people that aren't, in the market for what you do, then you're probably going to be wasting everyone's time.
True.
But if you look at marketing, right, like, you any type of marketing, radio ads or TV ads or YouTube ads, like how untargeted are they? They're so boring. Like you see a YouTube ad, you skip it all the time because they're terrible. Facebook ads.
I do that all the time.
Exactly. I mean, and they're at least a little bit better than radio ads, which are just terrible and very expensive. But then you look at Facebook ads, they're certainly better because Facebook has a lot more information about you. So they're able to target ads to be a little bit more interesting to you. Yeah. But there's still, you want to talk to your friends. You want to, look at videos of funny cats. You don't want to see some stupid ad. And all of those are referred to as interrupt marketing because you're interrupting people that literally want to be doing anything else but seeing your ad. Mm-hmm. Where the difference with search engine optimization is people are actively searching for exactly what you do. They're going to Google and they're typing in plumber near me or XYZ widget or whatever your products and services are. They're actively looking for it. And if they're not finding you, they're finding your competition. So, getting your message in front of them is the fastest way to grow your business.
Uh-huh. And it is also the reason why, a lot of business owners are creating content, tons of contents, it's because if someone searches for, let's say, passion SEO, we want Chris Reed to be on top of the search result. If someone is searching for how to build a team, we want Great Work Online to be in the top search result. So that's why it is important for you to be able to be in front of your ideal customers. You need to create content. Recently, we had this masterclass going on just to help out, aspiring freelancers, and we are doing this inside our Facebook group. And one of our SEO specialists, she never does it. She never did any presentations. So she was so nervous. But this is a topic that I am so interested in because that's what I learned. The first new skill that I learned when I was starting my career, which was SEO. So it's like, what's in now for SEO? So I was saying, if a client would like to be on the first page of the search result, and he is not creating content, then I don't think there is something for you to optimize. Right? That's why it's really important for you to create content. And having that said, Chris, what type of contents do you think is, let's say you're a solopreneur, you don't have a team yet, but you would like to create content, you want to be in front of your ideal customers. What are the best, let's say, top 5, top 3 that you can advise our listeners what type of content they can create?
Well, the first thing you need to do before you start creating any content is working out, who your customer is and what are they looking for. Because
Right.
if you don't know what they're looking for, then it's hard to provide the solution to that answer. So, most people, like, I love the old adage of when people buy a drill, they're not looking for a drill, they're looking for a hole. And often that's what people are searching for, is like the problem that you're the solution to. And so you need to do the research first to understand what that is. But there's a fabulous book. In fact, there's 2 fabulous books by an author called Mike Michalowicz. One, his first really big seller, called Profit First, which is about how to have a profitable business, which I highly recommend to anyone. But his other book about clockwork, which is how to build a business that's not revolves around you, which I implemented a lot of. And now it gives me the freedom to talk to people like you while I leave the experts to do all the hard work, which is fabulous. And that's what the main premise of the book is, like, what's your queen bee role? What's the main thing that your business does? That's what you should be doing. Like, you think about a lawyer, right? Do you want to work with a lawyer that is, does his own SEO and is, half good at doing SEO, half good at writing content, half good at being a lawyer? Or do you want to work with a lawyer that's damn good at doing lawyering, going to get you out of jail, and works with an agency? Like, stick to what you're good at and get someone else to do the other bits, because they're probably better at it than you. Like,
Yeah.
Like I don't do SEO. Our SEO team do SEO, and they run circles around me.
Yeah.
So it's like stupid if I try and compete with them.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's, obviously we are a digital marketing and project management agency. So I've drank the Kool-Aid around that whole, stay in your lane, do what you're good at, and hire out what you're not good at, or what isn't cost or time effective for you to do. And every day, every week, I'm running across some new guru on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. It's, take my seminar and learn how to build your own website. Take a blog writing course, learn how to copyright. I'm like, those are all tasks that you can hire out for significantly less than what your billing out rate is. And your example of a lawyer, I'm going to start using that one because I really like that. It's, a lawyer, the cheapest lawyer I've ever met bills out at about $200 an hour. Why would you do SEO? Why would you write your own blog? Why would you do your own Facebook posts when you can hire somebody for a fraction of $200 an hour to do that for you?
Yeah.
It's, and I like the fact that you admit that too, that you don't do the SEO, Chris. You've got experts that do that for you.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. And when we meet with a client or a prospect client, we always tell them that you should stay in your lane. By the way, I like that word, staying in your lane. I use that all the time because I heard that from one of my mentors, and he is watching right now. Hi, Henry. He mentioned something. What result do you deliver? So I'm not sure if Henry, if that is a question or that is a statement, but we tell this all the time to our clients. If your strongest skill or your passion is creating content, then don't try to be a designer. If creating content is being out there and producing videos and giving out content, then just keep on doing that and leave the designing stuff to your team. Um, so he said, if I represented myself in court, I'd be locked up for 30 years.
It's a good
So
point.
it's a good point. Yeah. I remember he mentioned something before, like if you have a tooth problem, are you going to go to a cardiologist? Of course not, right? You're going to go to the dentist. So same thing with whatever you need in your business or whatever you do, just stay in your lane, your passion, and it is the fastest way to scale your business because you are focused on what you do. And go ahead.
There was a book written by Adam Smith called The Wealth of Nations in the 15th century. And like, that's what started modern economics. And his main premise is the wealth of nations comes from the division of labor. The more specialized you become. It's like, that's 500 years ago. And people are still learning that lesson.
You say we haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. So I want to go back a little bit. I guess before you can come up with ideas on what content you would like to make, you have to do your research first. You have to figure out and know your target audience, know your clients. What do they need? What do they want to hear? Why are they struggling? What's ticking them off? And then through that, provide a solution. Then that solution, create a content around those solutions. So yeah. So
three steps to beautiful messaging is number one is find the problem and agitate the problem. Number two is show how you're the solution to that problem. And then number three, what's life look like after that?
Right.
And I try and use that in all of my messaging, even when I'm writing an email to, run into your mum, like whatever, is like, talk about the problem. How are you going to fix that problem? What's life like afterwards? It makes it so simple.
And I think, go ahead.
I was just going to say, your analogy before is people, you want to hang something or mount something. People aren't looking for a drill. They're looking for a hole.
Yeah.
That's what they think they want to drill, but what they really want is the hole. And I think as entrepreneurs, we have to be able to differentiate between what it is that we do. Do we provide drills or do we provide holes?
Right.
And until you figure that out, you can't come up with exactly who your target market is or how to reach those people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a huge, it seems really simple, but it's a huge differentiation there that you've got to know exactly the solution that you provide, not how you get to the solution, but where's the end result. And I think that really comes through in SEO, and you've talked about that. It's not just about getting you on the top, front page of Google or the top of that front page of Google. It's actually getting it there at the time when somebody who needs you is looking for you.
Yeah. In addition to that, some entrepreneurs would also create a product or a service, and it's because I think this is the in thing right now. So I'm going to create something like this as well without knowing, is this the product or the service that your target market would like? So you're going to create ads and then you're going to get frustrated because no one is clicking on your ad. It's probably because your target market isn't looking for that particular product that you
they
created.
are clicking on your ads and it's costing you a fortune.
And not going through the checkout page, completing the checkout page. So it's also creating content, creating your product around a solution of for your clients' problem or what they're struggling with. So having that said, having that product, and for your target audience to really pay attention to what you're saying, you have to also have that reputation. So why don't we dig more into that, Chris? What is reputation engineering?
Well, I mean, if you think about positioning, right? Like a good analogy again is a doctor, right? Your doctor doesn't call you and go, "Hey, do you need a flu shot? You feeling okay?" Like you go and see your doctor, and when you go to him and he gives you some medicine, you take that medicine. Like that's what you need to position yourself as an authority, so that people seek you out. They know that, oh, I've got a headache. I'm going to go and find the doctor. And when the doctor goes, "Hey, do this," okay, yeah, I'll do that. And the more authority you have, that's I believe that SEO is the best way to grow your business. Getting your message in front of your ideal customer that's actively looking for exactly what you do. What can be more powerful than that? And anyone that understands that is already doing that. And so a lot of my job is educating business owners, because they understand that they should have a website. They're just not really sure on what the purpose of that website is yet. Because it's like a business card. Everyone knows you're meant to have a business card, but like a lot of people leave them in their drawer and never hand them out. That's the same as your website. Like if people aren't finding it and getting to it, and it's not converting customers, then it's not working. And so that's my job, is going on shows like this to try and educate business owners on how they should get the most out of their website.
Right. So you talk about website, and how long have you been doing this, Chris, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, kind of. Well, I lost my job 2008. Then traveled the world for about 2 years, floating around, going, what the hell am I going to do with my life? And kind of started dabbling around 2010, 2011. I got a bit serious.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went really into building backlinks a lot, which is a really important part of SEO.
Yeah.
In about 2012, I think I moved to the Philippines in about 2013. And
so it's been a long time.
It's been a pretty long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you've been doing this, and all those years you are in front of clients, prospect clients' website. Can you share with us what is a good looking SEO website and which one is not? And what are the good elements that you need to have on a website for it to be SEO friendly, if you would say?
Yeah. So one thing to remember is that like beautiful websites don't sell things. Words sell things.
Exactly.
And if no one sees those words, then well, you ain't going to sell anything. So it doesn't matter. So your website doesn't need to look beautiful. I mean, sure, it's nice if it does look appealing. It needs to clearly explain what the hell you do, and it needs to explain it really quickly. Like someone arrives on that site, it better like be obvious. Like a caveman can see it and go, "Oh yeah, cool. This is the solution to the problem I'm looking for. Fantastic. And how do I take action?" And the more complex your solution, then the more information you have to kind of give, and the more authority you need to show.
Yeah.
So it's usually nice to have something that's simple, like even digital marketing, right? It's not easy and it's complex, and like what's a good website and what's a good success rate? I mean, like it depends on what your business wants.
Mm-hmm.
I delivered a strategy to a real estate investor just yesterday, and her biggest, she's got plenty of money. She just one deal just closed at $18 million, so she's like flush with cash.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like wants to move fast, but she's not sure how fast her processes can keep up with things.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's her biggest decision, which is a great customer for us to have.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's not easy, but we need to make it easy for customers. And so we show, okay, just click on this button and we'll show you your market potential.
Mm-hmm.
And explain to them in layman's terms, because if you're using jargon, jargon's what people that want to sound smart use.
Yeah.
that's, it's stuck in the industry. People don't know what your words mean. Like even the term SEO, right? I try not to use it
Yeah.
because it's boring and who cares?
And some
Like
people might not understand what is SEO, right?
exactly.
You have to speak your target audience language.
So that's what we focus on, is get more customers. Do you want more customers to grow your business? That's our messaging, not
Yeah.
about SEO, because no one cares about SEO. No one wants SEO. No one wants search engine rankings. They want more customers. And
Right.
so, yeah, as it fits perfectly with the whole, right? That's what they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
It's also different. Your attitude and the way you look at it is, I see advertisements and I talk to SEO specialists at networking meetings and conferences and stuff, and they're all talking about rankings. If you're not on the first page of Google, you might as well be on page 1,000. All they ever talk about is, getting to the top of the listing, being the number one result for, all these different keywords. That's all they talk about. It's interesting and refreshing to hear you saying it's not about that. It's about getting the right customers to get to your website and buy your product or your service.
Yeah.
And that, again, to me, that's a huge difference in the way, the attitude of how they're approaching it.
Yeah.
So many SEO people, their whole thing is, well, I got a client on the first page of Google. So what? Tell me what happened to their sales.
Well, that's one of the things that we do in our reporting, right? Is show your revenue increase. That's generally all customers care about. It's like they don't really care that you changed the metadata or you enhanced this content or you added this backlink or whatever the hell. Did the revenue go up? What return did I get on that investment?
Yeah.
If you spend $1,000 and you got 10K back, happy days.
Yeah. They don't care about the process, how you do it. They care about the end result. And I think, of course, once they reach out to you, they will know the process and all. It's important as well for you to kind of like explain it to the client. But the thing is, you have to have that focus, that how am I going to help my client to get more revenue, right? And being in front of their ideal customer is the best thing to do, so that they will reach their goal in achieving how much they want to have in their revenue, the profit, and all of that. So you mentioned about authority. Can you explain more about authority marketing?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously someone coming to your website and understanding what you do and seeking you out makes you more of an authority. So that is going to help you convert better. But another thing that businesses struggle with, one is to get more customers, but two is to do it predictably. Like, if you get 100 more customers tomorrow, what are you going to do with that? You get 0 the next day? Like, you need to have like consistency. So like, because if you bring on a whole bunch of staff and then you don't have the revenue to pay them next month, well, it's going to be really sad having to let people go. And so having a website that ranks and converts at a predictable rate, you can see what your revenue growth is going to be. And so you know how many more staff you need to be bringing on at what rate. Just as I mentioned about the real estate investor, she can only grow as fast as her processes can allow. And that's the same with every business. Even Apple they bring out a new iPhone, they have to predict how many they're going to sell because they need to be able to, provide the demand, but they don't want to go crazy and lose money.
Yep.
So it's always that balancing line. And so having a website that grows at a predictable rate, like how nice is that for a business owner? You can go on holidays and know that I'm going to come back and there's going to be this many more customers waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. It's so many, especially for smaller businesses, they have to scale at a steady pace. You've got a small business, as yourself, you might have a couple of production staff or a couple of salespeople. And if all of a sudden you get 100 new orders, you can't possibly fill that void. So you're going to lose 50 of those 100 new customers are going to walk away disgusted and upset because you didn't deliver on what you had sold them on. You ramp all that up and you say the next month you only get 10 new orders, and you're laying people off and shutting down production and all this. It has to be done at a a measured pace so that business can keep up. And it's, a lot of that is people wise, but a lot of it is money wise. You've got a small business that all of a sudden their business is exploding and they've got to hire staff and get a bigger office and buy more computers. A lot of small business are limited to what they can do. So I like, again, that you're talking about being able to do this at a pace that's digestible by the business.
Yeah. I guess what we need to do is be strategic in planning on how you're going to market in front of your customers. So we mentioned about having a team. You mentioned about Chris. You mentioned about you're not exactly the one who's doing the lifting.
Our customers are thankful for that too.
Yeah, because you have that focused time speaking with the client and strategizing and planning and all of that with the client, and you have a team doing all the heavy lifting stuff. So why is it important to have a team, and how is it important in your business now?
Well, I mean, like our SEO team lead just came in whilst we were talking. He sat down 2 minutes ago just there, and it's like, great, he's going to do all the work. I'm going to go to the beach in like an hour. That's why you got to hire good people that work harder than you and make you look good. But it also allows people to focus on their strengths, right? Like, I'm good at talking rubbish all day long. So I'm good at talking with clients and being on podcasts and building our brand. And that's my strength. He's an amazing project manager that just has consistency, like is way better than me. If I did that, it's like, there'd be plates falling around all over the place, So it's like, you need to find the right people for the right parts of the job. And that's, then hopefully your synergy is that all the parts put together is a lot more powerful than individually. Yeah,
that's true. You know what, you mentioned something about, you focus on your strength and you delegate your weakness. And I remember I had a client who asked for SEO help with me, from me, because he knew that I have this SEO background. But I'm like, my strongest skill right now is project management. And I've learned SEO back in 2011. So what year is now? So my knowledge back then, I know how SEO works. I know the basic, but I'm like, I was honest with the client. I brought on a new team member who is, the skill is really SEO. And the client just thanked me for that, because just like what you said, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a coach, and your strength is building a strategy and planning the marketing stuff with your client, speaking to your client, then just focus on that and let your team do the rest, just like what you're doing right now, just like what we're doing right now. So
I think it's really important to like set, it's a leader's role to like set the path that you're going to take. Well, not so much the path, but the goal. Like if everyone knows where they're heading, and then they can find their own way to get there. Like, we've got a pretty big team. I don't work with everyone because, they work on client stuff that I'm not involved on. Yeah. But the few people that work with me on our own marketing and promotion, like we talk a lot about what we're trying to achieve, and, they're professionals at what they do, and then they get on and do it. Yeah. They don't want to have to be babysat, and they don't want me to micromanage them. And you empower them with a mission, and then let them get at it and do it.
Yeah, right. You have to trust your team, right?
Indeed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If
you can't trust your team, then you've got the wrong team.
That's true. So let's have a recap, Chris. For you to be able to be in front of your ideal customers, you have to do your research, then create content, then provide solution. I think that's most
right. Number one is finding what they're looking for. Doing the research of where they're looking, right? And where does anyone look for anything? I mean, sure, Facebook and YouTube, people do go and search for stuff, but more people search on Google for new products and services than anywhere else. So work out exactly what they're searching for, then you need to structure your website and your content to get it in front of where they're looking. And then the most important part is invoke them to take action. Why the hell should they click on a button and buy from you?
Yes, exactly. So where can we find you, Chris?
If you go to Google and you type the coolest guy in SEO, you should see my handsome face pop up there, and just click on anything there and say hi.
No, without kidding aside, yes, I'm going to try that and see if you're going to come up. But your website is Ardor.
Ardor SEO, yeah. I mean,
Ardor SEO.
Ardor is not a very common word, but it's an adjective that means to do something with passion.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's adverb, sorry. Right?
Mm-hmm. It's ardorseo.com. So check Chris on their website and see what they can offer and help you with when in terms of, of course, SEO, search engine optimization, and how you can be in front of your ideal customers. You've got LinkedIn as well. So by the way, we're going to put all of Chris's profile links on the show notes so you can check him out. All right? Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you coming out today. Bye-bye.